Hi everyone and welcome. I am Vincent from SquaredUp. Today we are going to talk about RollUp. RollUp is about taking all those dashboards, all those monitors and all the health states that you've got and giving you and your team the bigger picture in just a few seconds. So here's a problem. I can connect to a lot of tools in SquaredUp, to all my tools. I can build gorgeous, juicy dashboards. But now what? How do I step back? How do I understand the overall health of the application, the service, or maybe just the business as a whole? Um, you can see here an example of a service, of dashboards for my service. We are looking at incidents, serverless functions, uptime. It looks to be green, but the database is down. The VMs are okay. The pipeline is okay. I can see the response time is a little bit higher than usual, but it still tells me that it's up. So when I look at these dashboards, I'm not able to tell whether my service is actually up and running. What I really want is a view like this, and not just for me, but for my stakeholders, my boss, or maybe my operations team. A red, amber, green view that you can rely on and glance at any time, just to know, is my service up and running? And that's where RollUp in SquaredUp comes in. For management teams, it means they don't have to dive into all those dashboards we saw earlier. They can get instant status. And for operations teams, it means they can trust that those dashboards, when they drill down to them, will tell them the truth, but there is a good starting point to essentially follow the red. Because what I really want to do is click on service one because it's red and get to the next level detail to show me where the problem might be. So we are going to demo SquaredUp today, try and reproduce the challenge and then try and reproduce in a demo a solution for what we've looked at so far. So let's get into the product. So I've got my service one here, which we looked at earlier on the slides. It's currently unmonitored. I've got some the incidents I was showing earlier, some cost data. It's going to take a second to load. The uptime dashboard, where I could see earlier, it's green, but I think the response time is not where it should be. You can see lately it's sort of increased unexpectedly as well. I'm not sure that everything is okay here. So potentially my users are feeling some pain, even though it's telling me everything is okay. So I'm a bit suspicious here. This service is maintained or running, if you want, on AWS. So it's using some serverless functions, Lambda functions. I think everything is looking okay here, but we'll find out soon when we start actually monitoring what we need to monitor. The pipeline is deployed from GitHub. Again, is it good? Is it bad? I think it's probably okay. But it's when I go to the VMs, which are these are essentially that service is running on AWS, but it's using an external database that's maintained and provided by a separate team. So the VMs, so it's running, the databases are running on VMs. I think the database is there's something wrong with the database here somewhere. So I just wonder if that could be explaining why their response time is perhaps slow. So the first thing we have to do before we even start rolling up the status to a higher level is to actually start getting some status, some good status out of this. So we need to start monitoring those dashboards. So to do that, well, we first need to pick what really matters to us, what metric is most important for us to construct and model the health of that service. So as earlier talked about the response time, which I suspected is a little bit higher than it should. So what we're going to do is add a monitor on the average response time. So we'll turn on monitoring, and I'm going to use my usual sort of greater than, less than for warning and error. So if it's more than 500 milliseconds, it's definitely an error. There's something, the user will feel the pain. If it's anything sort of between 250 and 500, there's probably a warning. So I probably need to be aware of it, but it may not be treated as an escalation, essentially. So I've just turned on monitoring. It's going to tell me the monitor is going to go red because it's already exceeded the 500 milliseconds. I'm going to save that. And what I've essentially done is I've started creating some roll up here because we are seeing the monitor or the tag on the dashboard is red as we've just configured, and that's already rolled up for me automatically to the dashboard. So now the dashboard that's looking at the uptime of the services is red, and in turn that has rolled up to the actual top level view of the service, which has now also gone red. So that's great. I have sort of at the beginning of a roll-up, but that is not going to tell my operations team or even myself what's actually wrong with this service. It's going to give me an indication that something's not right, but not what the problem might be. So essentially what I need to start doing now is start monitoring this service just a little bit more. So I'm going to turn off the monitor here for a second for this one. And then I'm going to switch to the same service one, but this time it's actually, I've already done the hard work and to monitor the service. I'm not going to go through creating a monitor for each key metric, but you can see on the left already, we've got the serverless function is green. Here I'm monitoring the lambda duration on that dashboard, and that's all fine. I'm okay with that. Same with the code pipeline. The build duration is okay. Nothing to be too concerned about. The VM has got a slight concern. I'm just monitoring the memory because I'm seeing that recently the memory has dropped to a level that it shouldn't be. It's not quite a complete failure, but it's in the warning zone. What really is concerning me is the databases. There's something wrong going on here. I think the QLens isn't right. It's exceeded some threshold, so it's gone red. So essentially the databases here is causing us an issue, possibly due to the VMs running out of memory, and in turn that's impacting our users. All right. So what I have so far is some answers for myself. My service is probably not doing too well at the moment, clearly. What I then need to, what they want to do is I want to show this, to my bosses, to the stakeholders, but also to the operations team who are sort of maintaining this application and supporting it. So the first thing I'm going to do is probably a dashboard for my operations team, so when so they can see at a glance on this service what's happening and where they should be focusing their attention. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to create a dashboard that I will be sharing with them. So a new dashboard, we'll call it the service, I think service 1 overview. I should do. And what I'm going to do now is to start using a new feature we introduced in SquaredUp, which is a roll-up data source. So when I start to add a tile on the dashboard, I have a choice to select the roll-up data source, and here I can pick various health from across the SquaredUp application that I want to start to show and roll up on the dashboard. So in this case, I'm going to go to monitor health. And in a few simple clicks, I should be able to then select, I'm just going to filter on my workspace, on my service 1. I should be able here to pick all the monitors I created just earlier for the service 1. And there we go. So we've got that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. What I probably will do is if I just put the dashboard name underneath, just to give a bit of context. Right, so I have my first roll-up view, all my monitors, all in one place. So these are monitors that lives on those dashboards, and I think that's a pretty good view for my operations team. They can see that not everything is green. That's the first thing they will see. Second thing is they'll see that things are red, and they probably then start to follow the red essentially. So the average response time on the synthetic uptime on the dashboard is red. The QLens on databases is red as well. So probably they'll start creating a bit of a cause and effect here and seeing actually that there's possibly something wrong with the database that's impacting the average response time. And what's great is then you can drill down from this dashboard, from this top level view. So I'd imagine the operations team would straight away go click on the queue lens, arrive on this dashboard, see that definitely the queues have got some issues with them, and hopefully then take an action, right? Perhaps talk to the database team, maybe they can sort the problem themselves, maybe they can look at the VM dashboard and see, oh, there's an issue with the memory, that's probably explaining the databases, therefore let's just restart that server, give it more memory, and hopefully that should then start to resolve everything for us. So when they start resolving, then the monitor will then sort of run at interval that you set. That could be 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever you set it to be. And hopefully in a few minutes time, we'll should start to see this view just turning green, hopefully. So that's the view for service one. It's a little bit overwhelming when you see this view because there's a lot of red and the green going on. So there are probably a better way to organize this, I think. So what I'm going to do is create the same view, but this time instead of picking all the monitors, I'm going to pick the dashboards because each dashboard is an area of my application that I can sort of start grouping and organizing. So the operations team, again, have something a little bit more organized to look at. So what I want to do for them is I'm going to go with a 3-column layout. And the first one will be the availability. Is it red and green? The second one will be the overall status for perhaps the platform performance, the one that is running the code and everything for the app, and then maybe the third one will be the dependencies, perhaps. So that's going to hopefully give them a clear sort of view and segregation. So what I will do here is for availability, I've already got a dashboard that's tracking availability. So I'm going to go to the rollup again, and this time I'm going to pick dashboard health. And I think I'm going to pick the filter to workspace, which is for the service one. Where are we? There we are. And I think I will pick, what was it? The synthetic uptime for it. There you go. That's availability will be red. Platform performance, I'm going to do the same, pick the 2 dashboards, which are sort of tracking the performance of the platform, and that is the code pipeline and the serverless functions. So that's all green, that's cool. And then the dependencies should be my VM and my database. Do that again. So you can see how the rollup data source is very much point and click once you've created your monitors, and it's pretty easy to choose what you want to roll up at that top level. So we are looking at dependencies. Here's that's VMs and databases. There you go. And you know that's not doing too well. All right. Actually, I can probably do better on the layout here for my state. I'm just going to go columns of 1 here, columns of 1. So it just looks a little bit more interesting. Right. So I'm giving that a name. Service 1 overview. Okay. So I think that's probably a better view for the operations team. Availability is red. Why is the availability red? Because there's something going on with either the platform or dependencies. In that case, it's the dependencies, it's a database, and then they can click on database and poof, gets the same dashboard. I think that view is a bit more useful for them. Where was it? Well, here, there we go. In fact, I think I'm going to delete this one. That was okay, but not what I wanted. And I've got this one. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to monitor these types. So I've got the health of the dashboards in 3 groups, but I'm going to add a monitor on availability, performance, and dependencies. I'm a group of monitors into sort of three categories. So availability is red, so I'm going to go monitoring and monitor the state of that dashboard, essentially, and that dashboard is red, so that's red. Platform performance, I want a status that's going to give me a status of those two dashboards that I've rolled up into one overall status for the platform performance. That's green because it's taking essentially it's taking the worst off. And then dependency should be red because I've got a red on my databases. So let's do that. Sorry, dependencies, yeah. Right, so I've got availability for service one is red, green for the platform performance, and red for dependencies. Right, okay, so I'm starting to build a roll-up at various levels. It's getting a little bit flexible, complex, but it's going to become very useful because what I really, really want to do is I want to build a big picture, not just for service one, because that's just one service. I've actually got more than one service. I want a big picture of all of my services. Okay. So what I'm going to do next, and that's probably a view that will be more useful for the operations team, but also for my bosses, my management team. I want service 1, 2, and 3, which are the ones I've created and configured already, on a dashboard with their state. Very simple. Is it red, amber, green? And that's really all someone needs to know at the very, very top level. So I'm switching now to another dashboard, and here I'm going to create the services overview dashboard. And what I'm going to do is that, again, use our RollUp data source. I've got a few choices here. I've already got a workspace that contains all the dashboards for all my 3 services. So I think I'm going to select workspace health this time. In theory, if I select service 1, 2, and 3, I should see that being, yeah, that's correct. Service 1 is green. It is red. Sorry, that's at the top level view as we've seen. And service 2 and 3 are actually okay in that case. So we are good. So that's a pretty nice top level view. Very simple but very effective. You could imagine having it on your wall screen in the office, maybe embedded in some internal portal. And the beauty of this is that anyone can then use it to drill down if they need to. So, my boss might be okay to know that service 1 is red, but he might or she might want a little bit more detail about it. So they'll be able to click on service 1, and they'll probably arrive on that view and see, okay, it's not responding very well. There's an issue with databases. Hopefully someone's on it, and then the operations team will be able to do exactly the same. If I go back to my services view, I'll be able to use a dashboard and sort of, again, photos are red. I probably could do better here. I think when I drill down, I'd like to probably go to a different place. So what I'm going to do is just, instead of using workspace health, I'll use the dashboard health. And this time I'm going to look at the 3 workspace in there. I think I had an overview dashboard in each 3 views. So let's try that. Service 1 overview. I think which one was it? Hopefully it's this one. I can't remember. Yeah, service 2, service 3 overview. And then I'm going to use the label as the workspace name, so it looks nice and good. And then hopefully, let me delete this one. If I save this, and if I drill down to service 1, perhaps as an operations team, we need to know what's going on. Then I arrive directly in that view I created earlier. So I'm basically drilling down back to where I started, and then I can go to databases. And there you go. I've got hopefully I'm following the red, and I've got the root cause identified, and I can take an action. Right, it's time to wrap up. One second, please. We've basically started with time monitoring. That's a starting point. You have to start monitoring the metrics, the things that matter to you. Then you roll data to dashboard monitoring, and then at the end to workspaces as well. So it's simple, it's flexible. But basically with RollUp, as we've said, you can give your management team the big picture, give your operations team clear drill downs, and model even the most complex environments, as we've sort of seen. If you want to find out more, if you want to learn more about it, we've got probably the best two articles you want to read, or is a roll-up article on our website, and the monitors one as well, because as we've seen, monitors and roll-up go together. And if you want to try that for yourself, go to www.squaredup.com, and that will get you started with SquaredUp. All right, thank you for joining, and we can't wait to see you build and use RollUp. Thank you.